Hey everyone, I am back, Bodies by Brendan, and I've got a great video for today. We're going to be talking about digestion, blood sugar, and leaky gut, and how all three are totally connected. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so a few weeks back I was actually speaking at Georgetown District High School to their grade 12 kinesiology program students. It was a really good time. I'm so glad that I was able to talk in front of the classroom and talk to them about nutrition and diet and exercise and really marrying all of these topics together, because they're talking about anatomy and physiology and whatnot, and they're just starting to get into the basics of this. And so it was nice for me to come in and explain more and just get into more detail about some of the foods and the lifestyle habits that hopefully they should adopt themselves for school and after school and thereon after. So I've got some really cool notes. After my talk, I got everyone to write down what they enjoyed the most on the talk. And so I've grouped them all, and I'll explain what they said, and then I'll kind of go into that a little bit more. One girl wrote that humans are composed of more bacterial cells than human cells, which is very true. Sarah wrote the same thing, that the human body has 10 times more bacteria cells than human cells. And so I explained that the bacteria in the intestine is so important to combat pathogens and bad bacteria and molds and fungus and yeasts. And in actuality, yes, the statement is true that our body is actually composed of more bacterial cells than human cells. One of the doctors that has coined this, Dr. Perlmutter, he says that we're actually bacteria inhabiting a human body, which is quite remarkable. Another one, Rachel writes, how much proper chewing and eating habits affect so many different health aspects. Olivia, she wrote that learning about various dieting habits affects various types of kids. And then Allison wrote, learning about how to keep your body the healthiest. So I explained that diet is so important for the regulation of blood sugar. And a lot of times kids who have temper tantrums or who have very difficulties staying focused at school or even at home, a lot of the times it's related to blood sugar. And by having lots of highs and lots of lows, that really makes it difficult for a child to stay focused because their moods are fluctuating so much along with the blood sugar. And so I really talked about, neutralizing blood sugar with, regular protein, lower carbohydrates, good healthy fats in diet in order to alleviate a lot of those fluctuations. Emma writes, ketosis helps dementia patients. Learning about different disorders that can be prevented by food. And I talked about ketosis, and I talked about our brain cells, our glial cells actually in our brain. They use glucose as energy. And these glial cells in the brain, they become almost desensitized to the point where they can't use glucose as energy. And as a result, those brain cells start to die off, and thus causing neurological behavioral problems such as dementia, Alzheimer's, even epilepsy. And what's really fascinating is that those who adopt a ketogenic diet, which is a very low carbohydrate, moderate protein, and high fat, is that once you become into ketosis, which is a state of fat metabolism for energy, also known as ketogenesis, that those brain cells, those glial cells, begin to use ketones and fats as energy, and those brain cells start to become almost invigorated, and they start to become active, and they have found that they're able to reverse some of the symptoms of dementia, Alzheimer's, and epilepsy, which is quite remarkable. So we talked about that. Cam writes, learning about the ketogenic diet. And then Alyssa and Audrey write that carbs are bad and healthy fats are healthy, which is essentially very true. And then we'll go on the other page here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. All were so fascinated about leaky gut. And so am I, and I really am so fascinated about leaky gut. And I talked about someone who is suffering with intestinal permeability. Those gaps, those junctions between the colon cells are 200 to 300 microns in diameter in space, which is astronomical, which means like anything can go through the intestinal walls into the bloodstream, and that is not good. And I explained in that classroom what happens as a result. Connor writes, the colon cells were really, really interesting. Shannon, same thing. She can't believe the gap of the colon cells are 200 to 300 microns in diameter. Amazing. Aiden, same thing, learning about the colon cells. So it was really, really cool. I'm so thankful that I got to go to the high school and speak to the students. I just wanted to make a lasting impression. And things like this, they really, really stick. So the importance of regulating blood sugar, the importance of eating a healthy, holistic diet to avoid all of those substances to permeate through the blood into the bloodstream via the leaky gut. We don't want that. And I talked about a gut healing protocol. Again, the intake of high healthy fats, the decrease of carbs. As a result, we're going to regulate blood sugar. And again, I talked about the importance of digestion, chewing. Don't drink water when you're eating, or just take a little bit of sips. Try not to drink lots and lots of water after your meal. Don't drink coffee with your meal. There's so many factors to help improve and increase your rate of digestion. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want me to come speak to your school or your group or your employees or your hockey team or anything like that, I'd be more than willing to, and I'd be more than happy to. And on this, we can make everyone live a healthier and happy life. So on that note, in good health and good spirit.